It is a pleasure and a privilege to welcome the graduates, families, friends, faculty, and staff to these commencement exercises celebrating the university's 162nd academic year. We rejoice in commemorating the achievement of these graduates in reaching the milestone represented and richly symbolized by the beautiful and time-honored ritual of commencement. The Reverend Scott Kirshner, chaplain to the university, will offer the invocation.
Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel wrote, "Our goal should be to live life in radical amazement, to get up in the morning and look at the world in a way that takes nothing for granted. To be spiritual is to be amazed." This past year, we have certainly learned to take nothing for granted. In the spirit of Rabbi Heschel's call to approach life with radical amazement, I offer this prayer. Holy One, on this day of endings and new beginnings, of journeys completed and new horizons awaiting, of accomplishment and celebration, we take nothing for granted and lift our hearts in gratitude and praise. Above all, we give thanks for each graduate, for the unique gifts each has brought to this community of learning, and each bears from this place for lives of leadership and service. Lives equipped to make a difference not only for themselves, but for the world. We are grateful for and amazed at the community of people, families, mentors, friends, who have encouraged and supported each graduate we celebrate today. We are grateful for and amazed at professors whose lives of scholarship and teaching have inspired and instructed in innumerable ways. And we are grateful for and amazed at the hard, selfless, and often unseen work of so many, and the constant vigilance we have all had to maintain to make it to this day. In countless ways and for countless reasons, it could have been otherwise. But here we are. And for each of you graduates who have endured so much, here you are. On this day of celebration, we take nothing for granted, but lift our hearts in humble gratitude and simple amazement. With Dag Hammarskjöld, we can say, for all that has been, thank you, and for all that will be, yes. In your holy names, amen. Please remain standing. The University Choir, directed by Dr. Amy Voorhees, will perform America the Beautiful.
Please be seated. Good afternoon. I'm Signe Gates, Chair of the Board of Trustees of Susquehanna University and a proud Susquehanna alumna. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I bring congratulations to Susquehanna's class of 2020 and welcome you now into the remarkable company of all Susquehanna alumni. Graduates, for your achievement, leadership, service, and character, you represent Susquehanna to the world. What you do and how you choose to do it will impact others. From this day forward, your life will reflect not only on yourself, but also on Susquehanna and the graduates who come before you and those who will follow you. We hope you will choose to be advocates for Susquehanna as well as alumni, and that you will find your own way of making a difference in other people's lives. In that way, you will strengthen our institution and elevate the value of your degree. As students, every one of you has benefited from the generosity of those who came before you. Most of them did not know you, but they were confident that you and your future were worth their gifts. For each of you, at least one alum helped make your extraordinary experience at Susquehanna possible. Alumni wanted to support you in so many ways, starting with the gifts of financial support and scholarships and awards during your four-year academic journey, and continuing on to our magnificent campus, including the Center for Environmental Education and Research, the Bloomberg terminals in the trading room of the Sigmund Weiss School of Business, the Doug Arthur Stadium, the beehives, the sheep, the science lab, the advanced scientific equipment, and so many more campus enhancements from the end of University Avenue to the borders of the 18th Street Commons. The gifts and commitments of alumni donors are grounded in their belief that you will use your Susquehanna degree to be leaders and partners who will collaborate to build a healthy global society and inspire a culture of philanthropy. 181 of you are wearing a special cord today that identifies you as a Susquehanna champion. Special congratulations to you for completing the Susquehanna Senior Champions Program. You contributed to and participated in a series of activities, including giving, community service, career preparation, student recruitment, and school spirit. Many of you advocated for 1SU, our day of giving that brought in 1,807 donors. We want and need all of you as champions in the future, so I invite you to look for opportunities to help students who come after you. We hope you will give of yourself and continue to be an SU champion through service, giving back, and engagement. In your 4 years on this beautiful campus, you developed relationships with peers, faculty, and others who are likely to be lifetime connections for you. Know, too, that your connection with the university will last a lifetime. You are part of a network of more than 20,000 alumni for whom a continuing connection with Susquehanna is important, and for whom the orange and maroon are more than school colors. They are a banner of the exceptional. I am proud to be part of that Susquehanna network and delighted to count you among my fellow alumni. Congratulations and best wishes.
Class of 2020, for 442 days, I have been waiting to say, welcome home. And to all of you, good afternoon, and welcome to Susquehanna University on this wonderful day of celebration. Thank you, Signe, and thank you to the University Choir and Dr. Voorhees for that lovely performance of America the Beautiful. Special thanks to Dr. Marcus Krieger for overseeing today's music and all our student musicians for their contributions to the ceremony. We acknowledge the Susquehanna people whose name we bear. It means those who live in a place where water is heard grating on the shore, commonly known as the river people because they lived in unanimity and balance with the river and land. This campus rests on their unsurrendered territory, and we strive to honor their memory by being mindful stewards of this beautiful place. One of the distinguishing factors of being Susquehanna alumni is a common set of experiences tied to university traditions. These traditions provide stability in a rapidly changing world. Like sacraments, our university traditions are outward signs of inward truths. They are actions that signify values that are at the core of our institutional identity, and they bind us as members of a rare and meaning-filled community. Yesterday, Emily Fowler, a member of the class of 2020, presented me with the artwork you see in front of the standard for our mace. It is an image of our iconic front gate, but when you look closely, it contains all of your names. It is a lovely reminder that the university is its people. You are Susquehanna. Our treasured traditions include move-in day, SU Give, homecoming, family weekend, Thanksgiving dinner, candlelight, Martin Luther King Day, and SU Serve, a tradition celebrated by thousands of alumni across the nation and around the world, giving tens of thousands of service hours to community organizations every year, and one that I encourage you to continue as you become leaders in your new communities. Susquehanna traditions bridge time and distance to connect generations of Susquehannans to each other and this special place. Many of you are wearing traditions cords that reflect how you were engaged in activities that strengthen our sense of community and enrich the lives of all who come here to study and learn. The ginkgo has become a traditional symbol of the university. The ginkgo's longevity and resilience mirror the strength of the Susquehanna community. You received your diplomas last spring. Today, to commemorate that achievement, you will receive a pin portraying a ginkgo leaf. We hope you will wear it with pride, knowing that you are part of a community that from its roots in the middle of the 19th century has been a place where students gathered to learn how they could make the world a better place. Indeed, that is our first and most revered tradition. One other tradition that you did not get to enjoy this year is we usually have a rehearsal before commencement. And so we're going to have a little walk through now, and the audience can ignore this conversation. But this is your ginkgo pin on a card. And when the time comes for you to come to stage, Provost Ramsaran will read your name. Now, there are a number of your classmates that for all sorts of reasons can't be with us, but are participating virtually. And so all of your names will be read. And when you get to the top of the stairs and Provost Ramsaran calls a name that's not yours, just do this. And when he calls the name that is yours, just do this and walk across the stage. And to remain compliant, as we are continuing to do with safety standards, I will present you the card as if we were exchanging business cards in Asia, and you can grab the other ones. And we're going to turn like this to the photographer and get a good picture, and we're just so glad you're here. All right, we're back in the ceremony now. We are gathered here to celebrate your graduation, but we are also here to celebrate and recognize the accomplishment of the many people who made this day possible. First, I would like to ask the faculty and staff present to stand so our graduates can express their gratitude. These are the people who sustained, frustrated, and inspired you in your journeys at Susquehanna. You can best honor them by applying what you have learned from them in your careers and as you become leaders in your communities. Next, would the family and friends of our graduates stand to be recognized and thanked? Thank you. These are the people who encouraged you, loved you, and made significant sacrifices so you could be here. They will continue to be with you as you undertake the next steps in your respective odysseys. Lastly, we should take a moment to think about those whose gifts made it possible for all of us to be here. Susquehanna began as a gift of land and funds from the leaders of Selinsgrove to create the Missionary Institute and a collegiate home for the children of local families who were not called to religious service. Since then, every Susquehanna student has benefited in significant ways from the support of alumni and friends of the university, many of whom provided gifts to support generations of students they would never see. It is a remarkable and inspiring legacy. Class of 2020, no regrets. When spring break began on March 7th, 2020, few, if any of us, imagined we wouldn't be back together 9 days later. But fate had different plans for all of us, and as I indicated a few minutes ago, I have been counting the days until you could return and enjoy a moment of closure together and an opportunity to celebrate each other and your collective and individual achievements. Through emails and home movies, I asked you to persevere and encouraged you to learn all you could from the experience. Many of you shared your own stories of fear, frustration, and fatigue, of hardship, struggle, and exasperation, and ultimately of resilience, hope, and triumph. You beat so many odds. I hope you are proud because we are all so proud of you. We all learned so many lessons last spring. How adaptive, creative, and ingenious you and our faculty and staff are, moving all teaching and learning online in a week, sustaining engagement through remote programming from student life, keeping WQSU on the air from bedrooms across the country. The heartbeat of the Valley is the heart of the nation. We learned how compassionate and caring this community truly is, sending scores of computers, internet connections, and hotspots to students in need across the country, bringing over 100 Go students back from literally all over the world, increasing the use of the Center for Academic Success sixfold to help bridge the gaps. We learned how our board and alumni are committed to our success, encouraging us at every turn and conveying their confidence when we needed it most, generously supporting the Student Care Fund and the Caring Colleagues Fund to help students and employees in need. And we learned how selfless and generous my colleagues are. There are thousands of individual stories of faculty and staff going above and beyond for individual students and for each other. But two lessons stand out above the others for me. The first is how much we value being together as a community. Being part of a living, learning community is an incredible privilege, and we all recognized what it means to grow and adapt in each other's company. We also found innumerable ways to maintain community with each other while being perpetually reminded of how much better it is to be here together. Truly, being in community is about the people. For the 2 months when there were only a few of us on campus, our connections persisted. Our community was sustained. Before the governor approved gathering guidelines that made today's celebration possible, some of you, and you know who you are, contacted me monthly, and in one case, weekly, for nearly a year to be sure today would happen. Thank you for the encouragement. Just after we announced your in-person commencement, I even received a sweet note from one of your grandmothers thanking us for not forgetting you. Trust me, we have been thinking of today every day for the past 14 months. The second lesson is the regret of loose ends and things undone and unsaid. So many of you shared with me that the toughest part of last spring was not being able to say goodbye or to savor one last fill in the blank. That is an invaluable lesson. Every time you end a conversation or leave a place, think about the thing you would regret not saying if you didn't get a chance for the next conversation. What would you regret not doing if you couldn't return to a place? Say it or do it at that moment. Opportunities are fleeting. Seize the moment. Have no regrets. Never miss a moment to commit an act of kindness, and never leave something unsaid. Never miss an opportunity to say I love you. Class of 2020, you are brilliant, strong, resilient, filled with grace, and poised to make our world better. You are proof that Susquehanna University truly educates students for productive, creative, and reflective lives of achievement, leadership, and service, and a diverse, dynamic, and ever more interdependent world. In the years since you officially graduated from Susquehanna, you have continued to make a growing impact on your communities and our world, and this is just the beginning. You entered a world of unprecedented complexity and challenge, but I am hopeful because I know what you can do. I am so proud of you and what you have accomplished, and even prouder of what you will achieve. Congratulations, and please remember, I love you. And it is now my great pleasure to invite Donovan Gales to the podium. Donovan has been an exemplary student leader, highlighted by his service as president of the Student Government Association. Donovan is from New Jersey. At Susquehanna, he majored in political science and public policy with a minor in economics. Donovan was active in Phi Beta Sigma fraternity and the Black Student Union. He was a Stanford University Innovation Fellow and tour guide for admissions. Donovan worked for the Office of the Provost and held an internship with the Snyder County District Attorney. And this fall, he will begin graduate school at the University of Michigan as a Rackham Master's Fellow. Please join me in welcoming Donovan Gales.
It's a longer walk than I thought. Good afternoon to the class of 2020. I would first like to start off with a round of applause for this class. I know many of you are well into your postgraduate endeavors, whether that is work, school, or taking time off. I would still like to hold space upon a successful completion of an undergraduate degree here at Susquehanna University. So students, parents, faculty, and staff, will you please join me in a quick round of applause to commemorate the class of 2020. If anything I say today moves or speaks to you, please feel free to let that be known with a clap, a snap, a shout, a whistle, a sing, or whatever makes you feel comfortable. While I was preparing my speech today, they told me to keep it within 5 minutes. So I want to apologize in advance for the person after me. People that know me know how much I can run my mouth, sometimes for better or for worse. But in all seriousness, how do you encapsulate 4 years here in the Grove into only 5 minutes? From our times on the bus with Terry, walking home at night from Bots, attending 18th Street events or campus gatherings at the Phi Beta Sigma House on Friday and Saturday nights, living in the best hall, Smith, of course, tabling for your club or organization in Lower Deg, hanging out in the Center for Diversity and Inclusion, competing in sports or participating in extracurricular activities, getting 4 orange juices for a meal swipe, chatting with Judy Lynn in the Hawk's Nest or at one of your campus events, watching your favorite faculty member or professor cut you a slice of turkey at Thanksgiving, eating pancakes at late night caf, and of course, spending way too much money at spring weekend, cheering on your friends during Greek Week or Air Band, and of course, you can't forget about homecoming. Well, I'll leave it at that. All of these experiences will forever bind us together and with Susquehanna. But I couldn't talk about all our years together without also holding space for how it ended. There is no doubt that this pandemic has made many hidden components of our inequitable institutions visible. COVID-19 was not the only pandemic we've been fighting this past year. The pillars of Susquehanna are to achieve, lead, and serve. And as now graduates of this university, my question for you, the class of 2020, are as follows. How will you embody these pillars with your own values and create lasting impact in the world around you? How will you lean into vulnerability and show up as your true authentic self? How will you respect and honor those who came before you and leave a path for those to follow? How will you ask more questions and challenge the status quo? How will you advocate for those who aren't at the table? How will you step up? How will you step back? How will you become comfortable with discomfort? And how will you shake up the room? These past 4, now 5 years, has had an impact on every last one of us. We have created experiences that will follow us for the remainder of our lives. Tonight, before you leave campus and go on your way, I challenge you to take a moment, ground yourself, and ask, how do you want to be remembered? And what legacy do you want to leave behind? To my fellow classmates, now alumni, family and friends, faculty and staff, I, as well as many others here, am grateful for this experience, for this time here at Susquehanna. And on behalf of us all, I would like to say thank you and congratulations to the class of 2020.
At commencement, we celebrate 3 outstanding faculty each year. The 3 faculty award recipients received their award recognition in May 2020. The John C. Horn Award for Distinguished Scholarship and Creative Activity memorializes Dr. John C. Horn, a former longtime member and chairperson of the Board of Directors of the university. The award recognizes a faculty member for outstanding scholarship and conscientious service to the university. The recipient presents a public lecture in the following year. Please join President Green and me in congratulating the 2020 John C. Horn Distinguished Scholarship and Creative Activity Award winner, Professor of History, Dr. Ed Slavashek. The Donald D. Housley Teaching Award recognizes a distinguished member of the faculty who served from 1967 to 2003, when he retired as the Charles B. Dagenstein Professor Emeritus of History. An extraordinary and highly respected teacher in his own right, Dr. Housley also authored Susquehanna University, 1858 to 2000, A Goodly Heritage, the definitive history of the university. Please join President Green and me in congratulating the 2020 Donald D. Housley Teaching Award recipient, Associate Professor of Theater, Dr. Anna Andes. The Lawrence A. Lemons Distinguished Advising Award memorializes a master teacher, public school teacher, and devout advisor to students who served the youth of the Nebraska Panhandle for more than 50 years. Please join President Green and me in congratulating this year's Lawrence A. Lemons Distinguished Academic Advising Award to Assistant Professor of Accounting, Dr. Michael Oslansky. Dr. Oslansky, could you please stand?
It is now my pleasure to be joined by Ms. Signe Gates, Chair of the Board of Trustees of Susquehanna University. Chair Gates, will you please formally present our honorary degree candidates?
The tradition of conferring honorary degrees upon deserving individuals dates back to 1479, when Lionel Woodville was honored at the University of Oxford for his service as the institution's chancellor. Since then, the honorary degree establishes an informal but strong association between the recipient and the institution. Today, we recognize two individuals whose accomplishments reflect admirably the goals of a Susquehanna education and our mission of achievement, leadership, and service. They share a common commitment with Susquehanna to education, to excellence, and to making a difference for the greater good. Mr. President, on May 16th, we honored William A. Lewis, Jr. with the honorary degree Doctor of Humane Letters.
Tenacious, generous, insightful, these are just some of the words that define Bill Lewis. Bill graduated in 1968 with a degree in political science, becoming the university's first African-American graduate. After earning his law degree from Boston University, he spent 3 years as an assistant district attorney in Philadelphia before heading to Washington, where for the next 36 years he worked for the federal government or federal agencies, almost exclusively focusing on civil rights and diversity issues. Bill became a member of Susquehanna's Board of Trustees in 1987 and served unfailingly for nearly 30 years, earning emeritus status in 2015. Bill received the honorary degree for his long history of service to Susquehanna University and our nation.
Mr. President, on May 16th, we honored Dr. Sudeep Bose with the honorary degree Doctor of Humane Letters.
At Susquehanna, we prepare our students for lives of achievement, leadership, and service, and few have accomplished those ideals with as much honor as has Dr. Sudeep Bose. Dr. Bose received the honorary degree for his immeasurable contributions to medicine, the country, and fellow servicemen and women. And it is now my pleasure to welcome Dr. Bose to the virtual podium to provide today's address.
Emergency physician, veteran, professor, entrepreneur.
Story of former U.S. Army Dr. Sudeep Bose.
Dr. Sudeep Bose. Dr. Sudeep Bose.
You can read about Dr. Sudeep Bose's story in today's edition of the Daily Herald. This guy treated Saddam Hussein.
Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's just realizing there's something greater than that and going forward and doing your job.
Sudeep, remember that job at Little Italian Pizza?
Sudeep was born in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and grew up in the suburbs of Chicago. Growing up, Sudeep camped with the Cub Scouts and ran track for Naperville Central High. He graduated from Northwestern University's Feinberg School of Medicine. After graduating, he joined the U.S. Army. Dr. Bose's parents, Subhas and Aloka Bose, have always supported his ambitions. His mother knew early on her son had something special to offer.
My father passed away, and there was a PBS show about heart surgery, open heart surgery. And I sat down to see it. Sudeep sat with me. He saw the whole thing, then got up and said, I want to be a doctor.
During battle in the streets of Fallujah, Chris Kyle, known as the American Sniper, protected Dr. Bose's back as he rushed to injured soldiers to save lives.
Up in a building, on a rooftop, our snipers had our backs. Chris Kyle, amongst history's greatest snipers, Chris Kyle had our back.
After receiving the Bronze Star for serving one of the longest continuous combat tours by a military physician since World War II, Dr. Bose felt his skills learned in combat could best be served in the busiest emergency rooms in the country. Serving side by side with courageous soldiers, Dr. Bose felt inspired to create the battlecontinues.org to provide medical support for veterans in need by helping them gain access to better health care and health education.
You're saying you're capable of being equipped and ready to deal with a mass casualty event that most closely mirrors war.
Dr. Sudeep Bose, you might remember him, he's a favorite guest on this show. He was among those treating Saddam Hussein after we captured him, won a Bronze Star. Think about that, serving one of the longest combat duty tours for a physician in history. So this man knows of what he speaks.
As a physician on the front lines of America's healthcare system, Dr. Bose has firsthand experience with the current, changing, and urgent medical needs of Americans. His vision is advancing healthcare for all by educating the public as a professor and public speaker, authoring a leading textbook in emergency medicine, continuing to inform the public through various media outlets, and waging a war on increasing healthcare costs by providing revolutionary solutions. Because even when the chaos of war or the emergency room subsides, the battle still continues to have a better understanding of our most valuable possession, our health.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, President Green, faculty and staff, including my childhood friend, Professor of Chemistry, Dr. Basu. Thank you, Susquehanna University Board of Trustees. Thank you, alumni. Thank you to everyone who welcomed me to Riverhawk territory. Thank you for the honorary doctorate. To me, this is a great achievement. What happens when Dr. Bose receives an honorary Doctor of Sciences? Well, he becomes Dr. Bose. Yes, I am Dr. Squared. Thank you, parents. This is your day, too. Susquehanna University Riverhawks. Achievement, leadership, service. These are noble ideals. I hope to be of service to you today. Age 23, I'm a third-year medical student at Northwestern University. There's a hierarchy. I'm on the bottom of the totem pole. Attending physicians, they wear gray coats. Resident physicians wearing blue coats. Someone who read a BuzzFeed article about a medical procedure once. And me. I'm still trying to remember which way to point my stethoscope. I'm charting in the charting room at Evanston Hospital. That's what you do as a medical student. You observe, you learn, and you chart your life away. Charting next to me was the resident physician. He was a hulk of a guy, an ex-college football player. That was a harsh contrast to my skinny, cross-country runner body type. Suddenly, the intercom blares. Dr. Hart, room 386. Dr. Hart, room 386. The resident springs out of his chair. He runs out in true football player style. His pen still spinning on the desk. His blue coat trying to keep up like a Superman cape. But the resident's name isn't Dr. Hart. He's Dr. Scheidler. Something wasn't adding up. A flurry of other healthcare providers were sprinting in the same direction. Dr. Scheidler returned. I looked at him confused. Who is Dr. Hart? Scheidler responds, No. Dr. Hart is our alert for a code blue. That's a true medical emergency. That means the patient has no pulse, his heart has stopped beating, and there's no blood beating to his brain. Every second matters. I had read about the heart, but this patient needed chest compressions, cardiac medications, electric defibrillation to restart his heart urgently. And I had not learned to do this yet. 1 week later, the intercom interrupts my rounds. Dr. Hart, second floor stairwell. Dr. Hart, second floor stairwell. I began running up those concrete hospital stairs like Rocky Balboa and arrived first at the scene on the stairwell to an unconscious patient, and the 2 nurses who called the code blue. The nurses' eyes were on me. No, I'm a medical student. This guy needs a doctor. They looked at me confused. No. He needs a real doctor. In what seemed like an eternity, the real doctors arrived to provide him medical care. In that gray concrete hospital stairwell, I had a revelation. Wait, I'm becoming a doctor, but I'm not there yet. You are becoming what you're going to become, but you are not there yet. Graduates, you've just completed such a monumental feat. You did it. Congratulations. But you didn't become a college graduate immediately after high school. This achievement included multiple smaller steps, such as figuring out where your classes are, studying for that seemingly impossible exam, learning how to do your laundry. Your next steps from here will also be comprised of many smaller steps. There were endless steps in my next phase, like learning code blues. And there will be several smaller steps for you, too. Speaking of steps, Army Basic Training, summer, Camp Bullis, Texas. I'm climbing the steps of a rappel tower. Have you ever been rappelling? In this case, I have to rappel down a 7-story wooden wall, straight down, more than twice the height of Seibert Hall. Again, I'm the bottom of the totem pole. General, colonel, guy who read a BuzzFeed article on rappelling, and me. I'm facing my drill sergeant. His last name is Lynch. Lynch gives me 2 instructions, 2 simple instructions. Number 1, don't look down. I did the thing he told me not to do, but I'm not going to goof up his second instruction. His second instruction was, do not let go of the rope. I'm not going to let go of the rope. Are you kidding me? There's no way I'm letting go of the rope. I'm standing backward like an Olympic diver on my tiptoes, about to plunge to my death. Except there's nothing Olympic about this. I'm trembling. Lynch yells, go! I can't do it. He says, jump! I'm frozen. He lets go of the slack, and suddenly, I'm falling. And as I fall, I let go of the rope. I did the other thing he told me not to do. The belay guy saved me. He's the guy at the bottom holding my harness. I'm suspended mid-air, upside down, feet to the sky, head to the ground. I'm swinging like a pendulum. Lynch comes over the wall. He watches me swinging, and he says, Bose, you're a dumbass. Worse yet, I had to do it again and again until I got it right. But the next failures were not from looking down or from letting go of the rope. Those prior failures on the rappel wall helped me finally get it right so I'd be prepared to do it in combat off a helicopter. As you go out in the world, sometimes you nail it on the first try. Sometimes you get that acceptance letter right away. Sometimes you get the promotion. Sometimes you're hanging like a bug, upside down, swinging on a twig. Get up. Get up again. You don't rise to the occasion. You sink to the level of your training. You get up because the battle continues. Fast forward, early March 2020. I'm working my emergency room shift. I've risen a little by March 2020. I'm not the bottom of the totem pole. I was now quite a few notches above the guy who watched half an episode of ER. My 60-year-old patient lies in the hospital bed with indigestion. Just another day, pretty basic. I can get him feeling better and discharge him on his medications and move on to my next patient. Before we discharge him, the nurse and I look up at his monitor. Why did his oxygen level just drop? I'm suspecting there's something different here. Are you a smoker, sir? He replies, no. Do you travel internationally? He says, no. What do you do for a living? I'm a pilot. Something wasn't right. So I transferred him to the intensive care unit where they confirmed my suspicion. Then I got the dreaded call. He died. I had just seen the very first COVID case in our city. COVID just became real in my life. Now this invisible, microscopic enemy had arrived. The battle continues yet again. I'm scared. Going to work was different now, brand new. We didn't have enough protective equipment. Not yet. N95 masks, for example. We hadn't seen this in the medical community before. How should we respond? Should we stay 6 feet apart, 10 feet apart? Is it transmitted by air, by droplet? All of us were scared. The entire medical community, including nurses, techs, EMTs, custodians, all of us who were on the front line. And it wasn't just the medical community, it was all of us. Susquehanna class of 2020. As you take the first of many smaller steps to reach that larger step, as you think you've planned it all out, you don't know where that path leads. If you fall on that path, get back up. Keep stepping forward, 1 foot in front of the other, and know that you are not traveling alone. We walk together as part of a community where we all grow and learn. All of us. Congratulations, class of 2020.
Now please rise as you are able for the Alma Mater sung by Lucy Ferruzza of the class of 2020. Please be seated.
Will each group of graduates please stand as your degrees announced and remain standing until all degrees have been presented.
Mr. President, from the School of Arts and Sciences, I present the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts. Will these candidates please stand?
Mr. President, from the Sigmund Wise School of Business, I present the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science. Will these candidates please stand?
Congratulations to all of you. It is my sincere privilege now to confer your degree. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Susquehanna University and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, upon the recommendation of the faculty and in the presence of all those here assembled, I confer upon each of you the degree for which you have been presented and declare you to be a graduate of Susquehanna University in the class of 2020 with all the rights and privileges appertaining thereunto. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the company of educated persons. Congratulations.
Will the graduates please be seated once more? I direct your attention in the program to the students who are graduated with honors as a result of their outstanding records. These include those receiving bachelor's degrees who graduate cum laude with honor, magna cum laude with great honor, or summa cum laude with highest honor. Those completing senior research of distinction graduate with honors in their discipline. Graduates of the university's honors program are also identified by the honors medallion worn as part of their academic garb. I now invite you to come to the stage as I call your name to receive your diplomas. Will the first row of candidates please stand and come forward? Mr. President, it is my great honor to begin the presentation of bachelor's degrees with diploma for the valedictorian of the class of 2020, who graduates today with the highest grade point average of bachelor's degree graduates. Class valedictorian is Cara Eckert, Bachelor of Science in Biology and Spanish Studies from Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. Cara Eckert was the first to receive a bachelor's degree at the 10 a.m. commencement earlier today. Joseph Matthew Aquavina, in absentia. Melissa Marie Barancuto, magna cum laude. Talia Ann Bash, magna cum laude. Elena M. Bailey, in absentia. Sophia Felice Blackman, in absentia. Scott Edward Campbell, in absentia. Samantha Nicole Carpentier, summa cum laude. Mitchell D. Carsley, cum laude. Heather Rose Casey, cum laude. Caleb Josiah Cash, in absentia. Evan William Caswell, in absentia. Morgan Joe Kapperman, in absentia. Brianne Marie Cherry, magna cum laude. Micah Emmanuel Christian, in absentia. Leon Lynette Chinovara, summa cum laude, departmental honors, in absentia. Raven DeJean Coleman, in absentia. Christopher Corrado. Trinity Margaret Day, cum laude. Stephanie Lynn Dowling. Samantha C. DePiston. Julie Ann Elm, cum laude, in absentia. John C. Fabian, cum laude, in absentia. Margaret Jane Fanelli, cum laude. Jade Lynn Felbaum, in absentia. Noah James T. Pheasantmacher, in absentia. Elizabeth Marie Ferrari, magna cum laude, in absentia. Amanda Dolores Fellerio. Andrew Ford. Liam C. Gallagher, magna cum laude. Lily J. Gannon, magna cum laude, in absentia. Tamer B.W. Gardner. Alyssa Nicole Guerres, magna cum laude, in absentia. Amanda Marie Garrett. Elizabeth Irene Herbert. Michael J. Henkin, cum laude, in absentia. Nicholas T. Higgins, in absentia. Yankee Hoy, summa cum laude, in absentia. Duncan William Horn, in absentia. Kira L. Hunter. Jordan Jensen. Isaiah Matthew King. Cassidy Marie Kirkendall. Ashley June Kopchek, in absentia. Rachel Marie Lambert, magna cum laude. Aaron W. Lichten. Tara Eileen Little. John R. Long, in absentia. Michaela Joy Lind. Max A. Maidenberg, in absentia. Ryan Dale Marion, in absentia. Simon Alec May, in absentia. Anthony Noble McCoy. Michael McGinsky. Kelsey Ann McGugat, cum laude. David William Oley, in absentia. Ryan Michael Prosick. Carly D. Rogers, in absentia. Kelsey Joe Rogers, cum laude. Craig John Rumens. Ali Rebecca Selsberg, magna cum laude. Samantha Seminara. Megan T. Smale, cum laude. Franz Christopher Smith. Spencer Joseph Smith, in absentia. Melissa L. Solak, in absentia. Olivia M. Sott, in absentia. Aitai Daniel Stone, in absentia. Emma Alice Steiner, cum laude. Michaela Renee Stewart, in absentia. Andrew X. Foldenberg, in absentia. Erin Beatrice Wetmore, magna cum laude. Jameer Niles Wilson. Joseph C. Woods, in absentia. Avery Gray Young. Carly Claire Acarina, cum laude. Ahmed A. Al-Harun, in absentia. Joseph William Arno, magna cum laude. Cassidy A. Bateman, in absentia. Marissa Kate Batiloro. Dylan James Byerly. Manuel Francio Binford. Tori Warren Brown. Caitlin Marie Brown. Logan A. Bruce. Alex Jordan Berman, cum laude. Colin Marshall Burns. Dominique William Caruso, summa cum laude. Brittany A.C. Charles, in absentia. Brian Anthony Clark, in absentia. Noah Anthony Conway, cum laude. Zachary Cooper, magna cum laude, in absentia. Brandon R. Demiano, cum laude. Andrew Michael De Bastian, in absentia. Morgan C. Derrick, in absentia. Kyle John Paul Des, cum laude. Elizabeth Joy Dex, cum laude. Garrett A. Dale, cum laude. Cole Robert Dixon. Anthony Peter Dombrowski. Joshua Robert Donnelly. Patrick Joseph Donnelly, cum laude. Gabriela Dmitrieva Dragonova, in absentia. Harrison I. Eddings, in absentia. John Matthew Ellingworth, in absentia. Michael Evans, in absentia. Richard Austin Farmer, summa cum laude, University Authors. Joseph Trung Felsinger, cum laude. Hannah Elizabeth Fittington, in absentia. Jacob P. Fox, in absentia. Nicole Elena Ganiaris. Brittany Nicole Gilbert, in absentia. Alexander Robert Greer, in absentia. Veronica E. Green, cum laude. Mingji Guo, in absentia. Joshua Edward Hanhuran. Jordan Patrick Harmon, in absentia. Michael J. Hattler. Dylan Noah Patrick Heisey. Fernando Hernandez, in absentia. Brian Robert Hewitt, in absentia. Christine Herman, magna cum laude. Sherry Marie Hostetler, cum laude, in absentia. Benjamin Wilson Hunter, in absentia. Casey A. Jata, in absentia. Norelli Jimenez, in absentia. Quinton Robert Cotella, in absentia. Kyle Anthony Kayeki, in absentia. Ali Muhammad Kenui, in absentia. Priscilla Sung-hee Kim, in absentia. Corey Daniel Kinney, summa cum laude. Zachary Robert Connect, in absentia. Paige Lynn Koba. Kristen Catherine Colival, cum laude. Kristen Noel Kumara, in absentia. Matthew R. Koppenhofer, in absentia. Tess Catherine Korinko, summa cum laude. Tony Scott Landis. Dylan Lee, in absentia. Tyler Samuel Lewis, magna cum laude. Devon Michael Lindemann. Samantha Gardina Lucandro. Ariana Izora Lynch, summa cum laude. William Harry Macrodes. Owen Coleman Madden, cum laude. Brianna N. Malkowski, in absentia. Luke Daniel Marino. Robert DeAndre Marks, in absentia. Elizabeth Claire Marshall. Alexa Masoni, in absentia. Robert Isaac Masters, cum laude. Samantha Maria Moriello, magna cum laude. Emily Kate McDivitt, magna cum laude, in absentia. Kiara Jackie Middleton, magna cum laude. Tyler Jesse Miller, magna cum laude. Alex Miranda, in absentia. William Hayes Munda. Connor McLaughlin Novak, in absentia. Michaela Levin O'Connell, cum laude. James Paul Orzulek, in absentia. Dylan Philip Ott. Paul Preston Olette. Jill Danielle Peace, magna cum laude. Christina M. Polmisano. Maxwell J. Fran, cum laude. Jonathan Albert Pierce, in absentia. Daniel Ernest Burrell, summa cum laude. Jackson Prusak, in absentia. Caroline B. Ray. Isaiah Robert Ripe-Rish, in absentia. Amanda Rose Robinson. Devin Ann Rossi. Stacy Marie Savoca, summa cum laude. Elizabeth M. Schweb. Logan P. Sears, in absentia. Danielle Lee Shelton, in absentia. Alexander James Sabilla, cum laude. David L. Simpson. Michael Leslie Slattery. Seth Robert Slaughter, in absentia. Ashley Elizabeth Smith. Jake R. Smolakov, in absentia. Brandon W. Sorge. Ian S. Spies, in absentia. Megan D. Stemple. Riley Hannon Stone, in absentia. Shane Michael Sullivan, summa cum laude. Rachel Claire Swieger, cum laude. Taylor Patrick Swim, magna cum laude. James Harry Thompson. Tyson Keith Thrush, magna cum laude. Ethan R. Tom, magna cum laude. Carly Teresa Urescu, in absentia. Alexander Christopher Wager, magna cum laude. Rebecca Lynn Wagner. Jeun Wang, in absentia. Morgan Warshall, in absentia. Ashley Erica Ward, in absentia. Kyle Thomas Watts. Marvin M. Watts. Joshua F. Weaver, in absentia. Kyle Grant Welshons. Austin William White. Nasser D. Witten, in absentia. Virginia Elise Wayan, in absentia. Eric M. Wilhelm, in Cameron Julian Willard. Christopher Edward Wolfe. Daniel Ferrano Yin, in absentia. Connor James Young, magna cum laude. Madison Lynn Zettelmoyer, in absentia.
Thank you. We appreciate your patience. Will today's graduates please rise? Members of the class of 2020, we are all very proud of you. As Joseph Casey, Esquire, stated at the laying of the cornerstone of Selinsgrove Hall 163 years ago as Susquehanna University began, education, in its legitimate sense, includes not only the cultivation of the mental powers, but the proper training and development of the moral sentiments and faculties. And its true object is to make us not only wiser, but better. As the newest Susquehanna alumni, I give you this charge. Achieve all you can for good. Lead with honor and humility. Serve with love and pride. And always strive to be not only wiser, but better. Congratulations.
I ask everyone else to please join our graduates in standing as you're able, as I offer the following benediction for our graduates as we send them on their way. Holy One, source and ground of all goodness and life, we send these graduates from this place in peace. Grant them courage. May they always hold fast to what is good. In our world of strife and division, may their lives bear witness to the deeper unity we all share, returning no one evil for evil, seeking always that place where justice and mercy meet. May their abundant gifts and talents grant them ever-expanding horizons to create, to discover, to seek truth wherever it may be found, and to find joy in service to others. For the sake of this beloved world, our common home. In your holy names, amen.
Graduates, we have one more tradition. There's a tradition of senior farewells. You know, you're not seniors anymore, you're graduates, but you won't see each other again until your 5th reunion in 4 years. So, we ask families and friends to stay at their seats while the faculty and students process out of the building and greet one another on Kurtz Lane, where they may be joined by their families. On behalf of the faculty and the class of 2020, I officially close today's commencement ceremony.